So, can a single letter in the alphabet help you make a lot of money? Yes, I think is the answer. So we're going to look at this chart, and I want to show you a simple pattern that you can look for in line with trend changes. That's the important part that makes this reliable. So what we're looking at is NQ chart, and I found this pattern completely myself and thought I had had a bit of an aha moment when I found it, and I named it according to the letter I thought it looked like. I went online and searched for it, and of course I found other people who found it, but when you find these things yourself and you mark them up yourself, I believe you probably understand the patterns of it better than just reading about it. So it's the H pattern. You can go and search online. When I looked online, it didn't look that impressive to me, but when I'd marked the charts up myself, it looks brilliant, and it works brilliantly. The difference is the way I use it or found it is in line with trend breaks. So what I'm doing, I'm looking here, the trend is obviously short term up, but we have a trend reversal here and down. So what I would do, and I always did this before I looked for the H anyway, is I'd put in a trend line across the lows. So we have our trend line here. We can see our trend has been broken here. Many people try and get in here on the break. What always happens, well, not always, but a large majority of the time, we come back and we retest this point, or it can be a false breakout. And a lot of traders, new traders anyway, they'll get in here. Maybe they will get their target. They're normally looking for big targets, you know, in my mind, unreasonable targets most of the time anyway. And when it comes back here, they've moved their stop to break even and they get stopped out. Or they get stopped out because they've put their stop a few ticks in profit. So what I do is I mark this up and just let the break occur. Don't take it. But what you do is you wait for a low to form. You can see a little line here. I've got the swing indicator on, marks these lows. You wait for a rise. And then, what you do is you mark off the low, and you see this is an H, so you get the break, find the support, retest up. Retest up is actually normally a sort of fib type retracement as well. It's somewhere around the 50%. You can run a fib in there if you want. Some people might want to actually try shorting even at the 50, although I probably wouldn't. I'm going to show you the extra magic ingredient to this in a minute. So we get the break, we get the H. Now we start to come down and approach this low. What we look for down here is acceleration, negative momentum. So we want momentum to the downside, and we can clearly see that on the RSI. This momentum has been going sideways after going up, and then we've got sideways, and then we have a break. This is your validation. So as soon as you get that negative momentum here, you short there, and what you've got, say you get in around 44, you've got you've got 10 points, which to me in NQ is a huge home run scalp. You know, that can be a one and done trade. As with these patterns are repeating as well, so you obviously get this break, you actually get another little H. You get a larger one here, which I don't like so much, but what you can do, as this continues down, mark off your lows, so you get an H, you get a push below, so you've got actual large, maybe not that candle, but here, perhaps, larger negative. The momentum has accelerated after going sideways again for a bit, so we've accelerated down. So it's probably actually more about there. But you have another short entry here, which is good for a lot of points. What you have is another H, mark off the lows. This one's not validated by lower momentum. See, we've got a decreasing momentum. You do get a bounce up, but you do get a break again here. And if you look, we got a peak, a bounce off the line, and then lower momentum again. You could have taken another shot here. This trend, however, is getting a bit lengthy now if we're not sort of just tanking. So taking trades further down near the bottom, especially into levels, HVNs and stuff like that, is probably not the best bet. But you look for this pattern, it just happens again and again and again. So you put in your trend line, you see this massive break, you think, yeah, I've missed it all. What's the point? You know, try and take it here. Well, you can, but you will get these breaks up, false breaks down, and so on. It's a bigger H, that's all. Put in your low, you look, you've got your H, bounce, dump, lower momentum than here, not here, but lower momentum here, acceleration down, break again. Okay, you only got that as opposed to all of this, but these are high probability trades and a setup that you can recognize, and you're also, this is a trend continuation, you're in line with the trend which has already been formed by this point. So you're not trying to guess a change in direction. I mean, you might be unlucky and it can reverse and go up, anything can happen of course. So let's just find more. Look. Trend break, H. Now this is an interesting one because there's a lot, but we've still got an H. Put the line across the lows. Acceleration, down, short, continuation. We're obviously firmly in a downtrend now, but that's not done the H bounce. We can get that. Done H across here. 23. Yeah, we got. Yeah, you probably would have got that small scalp, but look, H. You can clearly see the H. Here, negative momentum, take the trade. I mean, this is another 10 points easy there. There's a lot more than 10 points in fact. But 2 of those a day, 20 points a day with a single NQ micro is $400. If you can't survive on $400 a day, you lead a more extravagant lifestyle than I do. So that's it. Of course, the inverse applies as well, but it's so easy to spot these patterns. Yeah, and it stops you getting in trades. You see, here's a huge uptrend day which killed a lot of accounts. People were trying to short this all the way up. What you do is you draw in your trend line. Now, yes, it got broken, and a lot of people probably would have been shorting this here. But we didn't get an H. Well, you might call that one, but the low never broke. So we don't take the short. So it kept you out of this. We're putting in the trend lines again. Oops. People, again, short the break. You didn't really get an H, yeah? So, again, no trade. Put in your trend line. Now here you did get an H. I wouldn't really say the low broke, maybe by a tick or two, but look at your RSI. It's come down a bit off the highs, but it was extremely overbought. There's no red at all. There's no negative momentum, so there's no trade. It's not confirmed. I mean, we can pop in trend lines here all day long. This could be an H. We got a low here. Maybe you take that, you've got negative momentum. It's been a super bullish day, but look where you're trading into. Bunch of support across here, so where would your exit actually reasonably be? I would say right there, which is where it went to, or maybe this first hour high, but we'd already retested that several times. Look, bounce, bounce. So the target isn't far enough. I mean, I might have taken it, to be honest, but the target isn't really far enough away to justify having a go, probably. So still looking for downs. We haven't got the H. There we have H. We ran across. We do have validation. Yeah, maybe you get 4 or 5 points out of that. To me, that's fine. But you got to bear in mind the context here. Look at this, it's all green. It's been a huge up day. You really want to be selling into this. The thing is, if you're looking for solely trendline breaks, a lot of people were selling those, and a lot of people were not stopping out, and of course they got hammered. So let's try and look for the end of the change, just trend, end of the trend. It probably is. You can also squish your chart up as well for look for the H's a bit differently, see? Now look, here's a larger one. We look across here, we get the break. Now there's an H there, there's a break there, which is a nice trade. We've got the trend, we've got the H, we've got the break there, there's another bit of a trade. You can see the trend has actually changed now. We've also got this little triangle formation here. I love these things. It's a great pattern to me. So there you go. Draw it up, get used to it, train your brain to see it. With the chart squished up and expanded, there's hundreds of these things occur across the different symbols every single day. You can trade just that pattern alone and make a living. Make sure that you get confirmation from momentum. You can put volume in it as well. Volume tends to increase around these moves. Mark them up. So there you go.